You are standing in your kitchen at 9:47 at night, staring at an Amazon cart you do not remember building, a new air fryer basket, a garden tool set, a walking pad, a little storage cabinet that promises to finally organize the garage. None of it is crazy. None of it is even that expensive by itself. That is the dangerous part. Most retirees do not go broke from one dramatic mistake. They go broke from 100 normal-looking purchases that all feel reasonable in the moment. A car because you worked hard. A remodel because the house feels old. A cruise because your friends posted pictures. A warranty because the salesperson looked worried. A grandkid gift because saying no felt cruel. And before you know it, the retirement account is not destroyed by the stock market. It is slowly shaved down by tiny emotional decisions that looked like comfort. That is what wealthy retirees understand better than almost anyone. They do not just know how to invest. They know what not to buy. Not because they are cheap. Not because they hate nice things. And not because they want to spend their last chapter counting pennies in a dark room. They have simply lived long enough to know the difference between a purchase that improves your life and a purchase that only quiets a feeling for 20 minutes. So here are the 7 things smart retirees stop buying before they go broke. And number 1 on the list might be the one sitting in your cart right now. The first thing they stop buying is the brand new car that is supposed to prove retirement is finally yours. You know the fantasy. You pull into the dealership. The salesman shakes your hand like you are the main character. The seats still smell untouched. The screen is bigger than the television you had in your first apartment. And for a few minutes, it feels like a reward. 40 years of work. Meetings. Traffic. Bad managers. Early alarms. Maybe this is the moment where you finally say, I earned this. But wealthy retirees see the car differently. They see a depreciating object wearing a celebration costume. A new vehicle can lose thousands of dollars in value almost immediately after leaving the lot. After a few years, the loss can be brutal. And the strange thing is, the car did not become useless. It still drives. It still holds groceries. It still takes you to the doctor, the airport, the diner, the grandkids' game. What disappeared was the premium you paid to be first. That is the first quiet flip. The wealthy retiree is not asking, can I afford the payment? They are asking, what part of this price is actually improving my life? Because those are not the same question. A retiree with money might drive a 7-year-old Toyota into the same country club parking lot where someone else parks a leased luxury SUV. One person looks richer. The other person may actually be freer. That stings a little because cars are not just transportation. Cars are identity. They say, I made it. I am still successful. I am not fading. I am not becoming invisible. And that is exactly why the purchase is so dangerous. A car is easy to justify with math. Safety. Reliability. Fuel economy. Resale value. But sometimes the real sentence underneath is, I need strangers to know I still matter. Wealthy retirees stop paying strangers that much money for reassurance. They buy reliability. They skip the applause. The second thing they stop buying is protection plans for things that should not need protection plans. The moment happens at checkout. You are buying a refrigerator, a laptop, a phone, a treadmill, a washing machine. The salesperson lowers their voice and asks if you want the 5-year protection plan, just in case. Those 3 words have emptied more wallets than almost any sales pitch in America. Just in case. Just in case the screen cracks. Just in case the motor fails. Just in case the dishwasher develops a personality disorder in year 4. Just in case life does what life does, and something breaks. The problem is not insurance itself. Wealthy retirees absolutely insure the catastrophic things. Health. Home. Liability. Things that could ruin a family if they go wrong. What they stop buying is tiny fear packaged as financial responsibility. A $249 protection plan on an appliance. A monthly phone insurance charge that quietly runs for years. A travel policy for a tiny trip. Add-on coverage stacked on top of other coverage until nobody even remembers what is protected anymore. Here is what wealthy retirees understand. If a broken toaster, a broken phone, or a broken microwave would destroy your finances, the real issue is not the missing warranty. The real issue is that the purchase may have been too large for your margin. That is not a judgment. It is just math with the lights on. Stores push extended warranties because those warranties are profitable. If they were losing money on them, they would not train employees to offer them with the intensity of a hostage negotiator. But the emotional trick is clever. The plan lets you feel like a careful person. Like you are not wasting money. You are protecting yourself. Wealthy retirees separate genuine risk from manufactured anxiety. They self-insure the small stuff. They keep cash reserves. They let the occasional broken object be annoying instead of turning every object into a subscription. Some viewers will disagree with this. Some will say a warranty saved them once, and they are not wrong. That happens. But here is the question worth commenting on. How many plans have you paid for that you never used? Most people have no idea. And that is the point. The third thing they stop buying is the home renovation that exists, mainly because the internet made the old room feel embarrassing. This one is sneaky because it feels responsible. You are not buying a sports car. You are not gambling. You are improving the house. And the house is the biggest asset, right? So you scroll through kitchen photos. White stone counters, black fixtures, open shelving that looks beautiful as long as no one in the house owns a cereal box. A bathroom that looks like a boutique hotel where nobody has ever dropped a towel on the floor. Then your own kitchen starts to look tired, not broken, not unsafe, just tired. The cabinets that looked fine last month suddenly look like evidence that you have fallen behind. That is how trend spending works. It does not make you want something new. It makes you feel ashamed of something functional. Wealthy retirees renovate differently. They fix leaks. They repair roofs. They update dangerous wiring. They replace plumbing that is one bad Tuesday away from ruining the basement. They change a kitchen layout if it genuinely does not work. But they do not rip out a perfectly useful bathroom because a design influencer announced that last year's tile now has the moral status of a crime scene. Home renovation can return value. Sometimes. But many cosmetic remodels return only part of what they cost, especially when they are driven by trends. Spend $50,000 trying to make a room feel current, and a few years later the word current has moved on without asking your permission. Here is the deeper retirement trap. A house becomes emotionally loud after retirement. When you worked full-time, you left the house. You were busy. The old cabinets were just cabinets. But when you are home more, every imperfection starts talking. The scuffed baseboard, the outdated light fixture, the guest room nobody uses, the patio furniture that looked better in 2016. Suddenly renovation becomes a way to create momentum when life feels still. And that is understandable. It really is. But wealthy retirees ask a colder, better question. Is this repair solving a real problem? Or am I trying to buy the feeling that my life is still moving forward? That question saves money. It also saves sanity. Because no countertop can fix the fear that your best years are behind you. The fourth thing they stop buying is luxury status goods. This is where people misunderstand wealth completely. A person with new money often wants the logo visible, the watch, the bag, the shirt, the golf apparel, the designer sunglasses sitting on the restaurant table where everyone can see them. That does not make them bad. It makes them human. Status goods are not really about fabric or leather or metal. They are little social messages. They say, I belong here. I have taste. I did not lose. Please see me correctly. But after a certain point, truly comfortable retirees often stop needing the message. Not always. There are flashy, wealthy people. Obviously, but the quiet ones, the ones whose money lasts, usually become allergic to paying extra for a stranger's opinion. They will buy quality. Good shoes. A coat that lasts. A chair that does not murder your back. A mattress that lets you wake up without sounding like a haunted staircase. But they do not confuse quality with signaling. There is a difference between a $180 pair of shoes that lasts 7 years and a $900 pair of shoes that exists mainly to make another person notice the brand. The middle class often gets trapped in the cruelest version of this. Too much income to feel poor. Not enough wealth to feel secure. So the purchase becomes a bridge between the two. You buy the thing that looks like the life you are trying to enter. And retirement makes that even more complicated because your professional identity gets quieter. No title. No raise. No office. No business card. No one asking for your expertise at 8:12 in the morning. So a logo can start to feel like proof you are still somebody. Wealthy retirees who stay wealthy stop paying for that proof. They become harder to impress and harder to manipulate. Some people think that is boring. Some think it is wise. Both camps will probably show up in the comments. But here is the uncomfortable part. If a purchase only works when other people recognize it, it was never really for you. The fifth thing they stop buying is expensive hobbies that quietly become second mortgages. Retirement needs hobbies. This is not optional. People need rhythm. They need play. They need something to practice, improve, talk about, look forward to. A retirement with no hobby can become a very clean house with a very lonely person inside it. But there is a difference between a hobby and a lifestyle invoice. Golf can become thousands in clubs, fees, memberships, carts, lunches, clothes, and travel. Boating can turn into storage, maintenance, fuel, repairs, insurance, docking fees, and one mysterious annual expense nobody can explain but everybody pays. RV travel can be wonderful, but the payment, repairs, campground fees, upgrades, and fuel can become a full-time financial relationship. None of these are wrong if they fit the plan. That matters. A wealthy retiree might absolutely play golf. They might own a boat. They might travel constantly. The difference is they know the total cost before the fantasy starts talking. Most people price the entry ticket. Wealthy retirees price the ecosystem. That is the second big flip. The expensive part is not always the thing you buy. It is the world that thing pulls you into. A camera pulls you into lenses. A boat pulls you into storage. A horse pulls you into a universe where everyone talks casually about expenses that sound like medical bills. A country club pulls you into dinners, outfits, guest fees, charity events, and a social circle where spending becomes the background music. Cheaper hobbies are not automatically better. But wealthy retirees usually prefer hobbies that create energy without creating financial pressure. Walking, gardening, pickleball, reading, volunteering, woodworking with tools they already own, fishing from a modest kayak, learning a language, cooking, bird watching, local hiking groups, helping at a food bank, taking community classes. These are not lesser lives. Sometimes they are richer lives because the hobby is not constantly asking for more money to prove you are serious. Here is the question. Did your hobby make your retirement feel bigger, or did it make your bills feel bigger? That is worth answering honestly. The sixth thing they stop buying is percentage-based advice they do not understand. This one is sensitive, so say it carefully. Good financial advisors can be valuable, very valuable. They can stop people from panic selling. They can build tax strategies. They can help with estate planning, withdrawal rules, insurance coordination, and all the weird financial paperwork that seems designed by someone who hates humans. But wealthy retirees pay attention to how advice is paid for. A 1% assets under management fee sounds small because 1% always sounds small. 1% of a cookie is a crumb. 1% of a retirement portfolio is not a crumb. If you have $1 million invested, 1% is $10,000 per year. Every year. Whether the market is up, down, boring, terrifying, or acting like it was raised by wolves. Over a long retirement, that fee can compound into hundreds of thousands of dollars in lost value. Not because anyone is evil. Because math keeps working even when nobody is looking at it. The issue is not whether advice is worth paying for. The issue is whether you know what you are paying, what you are getting, and whether the arrangement still makes sense. Wealthy retirees are not embarrassed to ask direct questions. What do I pay you annually in dollars, not percentages? Are you a fiduciary at all times? Do you receive commissions from any product you recommend? Can I pay a flat fee for a plan instead of an ongoing percentage? How would my portfolio be different if I used low-cost index funds and paid hourly for advice when needed? Those questions make some people uncomfortable because money advice has a strange emotional power. It can feel rude to ask. It can feel like you are questioning someone who knows more than you. But retirement is not the time to be polite with invisible fees. The wealthy retiree does not need to be a genius. They just need to understand the drag. A boat has drag. A portfolio has drag. Fees are drag. And drag matters most when you need the engine to last for 25 or 30 years. The seventh thing they stop buying is the big one. Emotional purchases. This is the silent wealth thief. It is not one category. It is the reason behind all the categories. You buy because you are bored. You buy because you are lonely. You buy because your adult child has not called, and the package on the porch gives you something to anticipate. You buy because your friend took a cruise, and now your quiet week feels small. You buy because the grandkids are visiting and money feels like the easiest way to say I love you. You buy because you are scared of becoming irrelevant. You buy because for 3 minutes, choosing, clicking, upgrading, booking, replacing, remodeling, or leasing gives you the feeling of control. That is why this one matters most. The purchase is rarely about the object. It is about changing the emotional weather. And retirement creates a lot of weather. More time. More silence. More comparison. More health scares. More memories. More afternoons where nobody needs you for anything urgent. More chances to wonder if you did enough, saved enough, became enough, mattered enough. No one wants to say that out loud in a finance video. But it is true. The Amazon cart is sometimes a loneliness cart. The remodel is sometimes a relevance project. The new car is sometimes a fear of disappearing machine. The cruise is sometimes a Facebook defense system. The expensive gift is sometimes a plea. Please remember I love you, even if I do not know how to say it without a receipt. Wealthy retirees are not immune to these feelings. That is the final flip. They are not richer because they never feel bored, lonely, insecure, or afraid. They are richer because somewhere along the way, they stopped letting every feeling become a transaction. They built a pause. Sometimes it is a 24-hour rule. Sometimes it is 30 days. Sometimes it is one question written on a sticky note near the computer. Will I still be glad I bought this next month? That pause does not make life smaller. It protects the money for things that actually do make life bigger. A trip you planned intentionally. A dinner with people you love. A safer home. A medical need. A hobby that gives you real joy. A gift that means something because it was chosen with attention, not guilt. So if one of these 7 hit a little close to home, that does not mean you failed. It means you found the leak. Maybe it is the car. Maybe the warranties. Maybe the remodel. Maybe the logo. Maybe the hobby. Maybe the advisor fee. Maybe it is that quiet 10 o'clock purchase you make when the house gets too still. Drop a comment with the one that got you. Not the one you think sounds smart. The real one. Because the wealthy retirees who keep their money are not always the ones who earned the most. They are often the ones who learned, finally, that money is a terrible substitute for feeling okay. And once you stop asking your wallet to do emotional work it was never built to do, retirement gets a lot less expensive.